Hello and welcome to this episode of our podcast, Spotlighting Our Community, where we highlight the voices and stories of the Mid-North Promise Program. I'm one of your co-hosts, Nate Reeves, and with me, as always, words are difficult, is Kelsey Hamilton. Kelsey, how are you doing today?
And I'm just very excited to get to be with the two of you today because we are here with Darell Rogers, who is going to share with us a little bit. But before we jump into the meat of it, Darell, would you be able to tell us a little bit more about, your participation in the program, your family, let us get to know you a little bit, and then we'll dive in.
Yeah, so I'm from Evansville, Indiana, and I moved here after college around probably 2011, 2012. But after me and my wife got married, we moved into the neighborhood in, I believe, 2017. And I believe we found the Mid-North Promise program in probably the next 2 years, maybe 2018, 2019. And we started to meet with Kelsey. And yeah, I think we found the program through friends that were already connected. They had free passes to the museum, so we lived closer than they did, and so we looked into it just to get involved and just seeing what the community had to offer.
Awesome. Well, Darell, to that end, I mean, you shared a little bit about getting involved. So how did you go through the process of the Mid-North Promise program? I know, Kelsey, you worked very closely with her. So what was that process for your family like, getting involved in it? How did you realize, I can take advantage of some of these things? This is really helpful for me. So what was that process like for you?
Yeah, so we met with Kelsey as often as we felt necessary for our family. And she introduced us to the scholarships that were available. And me and my wife were still on the fence at the time about going back to school. So we decided to take advantage of that. And we were able to finish our degrees after we had previously dropped out of school in order to not have any debt. We were able to use that to help us. And we both graduated from Ivy Tech.
Awesome. Real quick within that, did you know right away what you wanted to do, or did it take some getting back into the swing of once you're in a program, you're like, oh yeah, I can think about me again. Or were you just prepared for that? What was that like for you?
I was just excited to just get my degree because I already had credits from IUPUI. So I felt like if I just attached something to it instead of just going for a general education, I would be a lot better in the workforce. So I decided to study supply chain management and logistics.
Awesome. I remember the June celebration where you were both scholarship. Well, you were graduates and scholarship recipients, which was so exciting. Well, I think it's always helpful to have a little bit of context of kind of how we all met and how you got involved in the program. So thank you for sharing that. But I know we talked a little bit about what your degree is in, but if we could, it would be great to dive in and kind of what you're currently doing professionally. And if you have thoughts on kind of how you knew that this is what you were supposed to be doing, that this is something that was a great fit for you, I think that would be really helpful.
Yeah, so I'm currently a financial coach. What's finances are something that I've been passionate about for a while. Me and my wife were able to clean up a lot of debt from school and car loans, medical bills, pretty much debt of all sorts. And the way that we were able to do it, it really just helped us set a trajectory for our future. And what that was going to look like for our family tree. We didn't learn about money until after we were married. So like most people, we're not taught about money in school. So really that just gave me a passion to want to share with everyone that I know. But money is a sensitive, it can be a sensitive subject to talk about with people. So I felt like I needed to be certified in order to be able to get around more people and to be able to talk about that and take a deep dive and help people pretty much experience what we experienced. And that's where my passion for that comes from.
I think that's such a good point, Darell, that it's for so many people, finances are not something that get talked about. Partially, I think, like you said, because it's something that can feel a little uncomfortable or like a little tense to talk about, but also like it's not really something we learn in public school either. You know, you kind of don't get the opportunity to dive in. So yeah, I think that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, Kelsey. And so Darell, within the context of that, here, by the way, on man, I graduating college, it was just like, okay, now I'm here. I'm in the workforce. I'm receiving pay stubs. Oh, I've got bills. Oh, I've got all this. What the heck do I do with it? I just got an education, but apparently not within finances, but which impacts all of us, right? So I guess within that, what are some things you've heard? Misunderstandings, confusions within the context of this particular thing that people may worry about for themselves to invest in asking for support for finances, a financial coach. And what would your encouragement be to those people that may be on the fence and may not say it's worth it due to other things that they've got? I don't know. What are some things you hear that make people a little hesitant or reluctant to feel like they need that support or it's worth the financial contribution for them to receive that help in that area?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is people think that if they make more money, that will solve their financial problems. Which in reality, when you make more money, you spend more money. So, a lot of people want to invest. They want to save for retirement. They want to have a rainy day fund, but they just don't know what order to do that in. So that's where I come in to help them do things in order, so you can have a solid financial structure that will stand inflation, um, recession, job layoffs, unemployment. You know, you have to have that solid foundation so that it can withstand anything. So that's my job. That's what I do with people when I meet with them.
That's so helpful. Because yeah, life is just unpredictable as a weekly schedule, right? It's like I can have this on documentation, but then, oh my gosh, this is going on, or this is an emergency. And yeah, having someone like yourself who helps people prepare and be proactive is so helpful. I mean, who among us has not been grateful to have a proactive plan when so much of other life is just reactive? And so I just think this is just such a benefit. And when Kelsey and I were able to sit down with you about this, I feel like that was definitely a theme that I heard you say over and over again. So I'm grateful to hear you elaborate on that here.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Are there encouragements maybe that you have, Darell, for folks who um, maybe are on the fence about learning more or like need, the extra push to like understand the type of support that you provide?
Yeah, I would say a lot of people would say that they probably can't um, afford to meet with a financial coach just because of how much it costs. And what I do is I charge everyone based on their situation. So someone that's making a lot of money, I'm not going to charge them the same amount as a single mom with 4 kids. So it's definitely affordable for everyone that um, wants it. And I also think that if you really look at your budget, it's probably something in there, usually in the entertainment that you're paying for, that is less important than your money, your finances. So something like cable, if you're paying $200 a month for cable, you can definitely afford to meet with a financial coach. You can cut cable. There's other ways to get around that. There's a lot of streaming options, but you just really have to sit down and look at your budget and see what's more important to you.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I just want to call out how important it is and how grateful we are that your process feels so equitable. That I know that's something that, is very justice focused and equity focused. And I think that's something that we hope to even see more of in your field and in all fields. So I just think that's really cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, Darell, walk us through a little bit. How do people connect with you? I'm sure there are going to be some people who are like, okay, maybe it's time. I need to take the dive in. I need to just go out there. And I so appreciate your spirit in this, because I know it can be intimidating to have your finances, as you said, can be extremely sensitive.
Yes, sir.
Very intimate with your money, right? It's very personal for us. But like, you're so gentle and so easy to be around. I will just advocate to say, my goodness, Darell's just one of the easiest people you'll ever talk to and very trustworthy. And so I think we just are so appreciative of that spirit in you. But what does time with you look like? How can people connect with you after this podcast with your new line of work?
Yeah, the best way will be on my website, ramseycoach.com/Rogers-Solutions. And you can set up an appointment with me at the top or bottom of that page. My Calendly is connected to the website. So for new people, I do a consultation that is, free of charge. And what we just talk about is the root of why people think about money the way they think about money, and whatever financial situation that they're in. Not everyone who I work with are in debt. Some people have a lot of money, they just don't know how to manage it. And for those who are in debt, that's one of the first things we talk about. How did you get in debt? Usually it doesn't take long to get into debt, but to get out of debt, it takes a long time. So what I deal with mostly is, 20% of finances is head knowledge, like knowing what to do with it. The other 80% is focus on your behavior. If you're willing to be disciplined enough to structure your money the right way, manage it the right way, that's what I help people with, that 80%.
That's awesome. And are there I'm sure every client is different, right? Because we just talked about not everyone is in debt and some people have more money than other folks and it looks different for everybody. But is there could you walk us through maybe what a couple sessions with you might look like? Like, how often do you schedule with people? Where do you meet? Just in case anyone's feeling some context might be helpful for them before they reach out to you.
Yeah, good question. So I usually meet with people once a month for about a minimum of 6 months, just because one of the biggest things is budgeting, and that takes about 3 sessions to get down. And then after that, we'll walk through whatever their financial situation is for the next 3 meetings. And after 6 meetings, I leave it up to the client. They can totally choose if they want to continue, or if they feel like they learned enough already.
That's very insightful, very helpful, and I think that's worth it. So Darell, my goodness, this has been wonderful. Before we go, is there any other parting words of wisdom you maybe wanted to share, or any other bits of encouragement for people out there that you may not have gotten out the first time?
Yeah, I think if we just think about our cars or our bodies, like if we take care of them, they'll take care of us. The same thing with your finances. If you take care of your money, the goal is for your money to take care of you. No one wants to work for money, forever, that I know of. The goal is to have your money work for you.
Very
Wonderful.
Good point. Well said.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And
Kelsey.
no,
I know we
we're
both wanted
both
to
just
jump in there and
excited.
encourage Darell. We're like, that's so good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, Darell. This has been so helpful. And for folks listening, we will be sure to put all of the references and resources that Darell mentioned in the show notes so that you can access those, as well as his contact information that he mentioned. And on behalf of Nate and Darell, thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.